Hello, welcome to Creatrix Conversations. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm really excited to talk about today's topic of the imitation business model because I think that it's not something that is spoken about enough, and I want to shed some light on it and also share some of my personal experiences with doing this dance around comparison and the imitation business model. So my name is Flora Ware, and I am a spiritual life and business coach, Moon Circle priestess, and I'm here every week, Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific, to bring you a weekly download of all things mindset, marketing, and magic. It is my passion and my gift to help women embody their wisdom and awaken the goddess within. And I help spiritual entrepreneurs and executive leaders make a bigger impact and income in their life and their business. So, what is this imitation business model? What is it that I am talking about here? Well, what often happens as we decide that we feel a calling to create something, too often we look outside of ourselves for inspiration, right? When we think, I've got this great idea, or I'm feeling inspired to create something. I wonder if other people are doing it, or I wonder how other people are doing something similar. Does this ring a bell? Please let me know in the comments if this feels familiar, that when you have an idea and you want to create something or start something, and rather than staying with your own inner creative process and listening to your inner guidance and intuition, you go online, right? You go online, you start Googling, or you go on Facebook and you see what are other people doing, and that is a pitfall, because of course we then get influenced by seeing what else is out there, seeing what other people are doing. And the other really unfortunate thing with doing it that way is that we often get intimidated, or we get we feel like, oh, well, they're already doing it, or this has already been done, and so there's no room for me. There's no room for my creation, because it's already out there. And look at them. Turns out they've been doing it for years, and they're really successful at it. Why would I even try? Boo, defeatist, right? Have you ever experienced that though? It is really common. So the trouble with that is, what kind of mentality is that? That if she's already doing it, or they're already successful doing it, that there's no room for me and my creation. That's scarcity mentality, right? That's not abundance mentality. That's, she already is doing it, so there's no room for me. That's like saying, oh, she's already a massage therapist, so I can't be a massage therapist. Totally ridiculous, right? Why do we put that same thinking on something that's totally different? So the antidote for this is that when you do have an inspiration, I call them divine downloads. If you feel that bolt of inspiration, or I love Lisa Lister, the author of which, she calls them uploads, right, from source into your creative womb space. So if you get an upload or a download, however you want to call it, however you feel it in your body, then to keep it inside you, to nurture it, to stay with what your inner creative process is, and maybe only tell one or two really close people. Don't share it. Keep it safe. Nurture it. Don't Google. Don't look around. Don't try to compare, because this will start to, if you do like the looking out, outside of yourself, it will often trigger different things, especially in women, of the sister wound. Now, I already know I'm going to be talking about the sister wound more either next week or the week after, so I'm not going to go into too much of that, but it's that comparison and competition, right? So here's the thing, and this is one reason why I am so passionate about the archetypal assessments that I do with my one-on-one clients. It's so that you can understand your unique soul's blueprint. Because the more aware of who you truly are and what your unique gifts are, what your values are, what you're bringing to the table, you know, what makes you truly you and unique, then the less likely you are to unconsciously or consciously imitate someone else's business model, or to try to copy someone else's version of success. So if you've been listening to this so far and you think, well, I don't really think that I do that, how about striving for and trying to copy someone else's version of success? Does that ring a bell for you? Because that's very easy to do. And not even in business. You see someone, you know someone who has a really, really happy marriage, and you think, I want that, because that's what will make me happy too, you know. And maybe it will, but it's this thing that we do, that when we're triggered by someone, we see something is triggered in us, that maybe that pang of envy or jealousy, or when we find ourselves comparing ourselves to someone, then we often unconsciously are trying to imitate or copy what it is that makes them successful, what it is that makes them happy, because we want the same things, right? So when you understand how you are designed and how your soul blueprint operates, then you don't fall prey to that same kind of trap, because you will know. You just know that that's their version of success, and mine's going to look different, even if it looks kind of the same, right? And that's okay too. But you know, this is what I'm wanting to ask you today. Do you know how your soul is designed for success? Do you know how your soul is best aligned for manifestation, for creating something? And if you don't, I want you to reach out to me. I do. I want to get on a call with you, because I don't just coach people for longer term packages, even though I love to deep dive with people. But if you're not ready for a 6-month coaching mentorship for your business, that's fine. I offer single sessions and 3-hour VIP strategy sessions where we can do an archetypal assessment. So if you're feeling like, yeah, I really want to know what my unique soul's blueprint for success, I want to know my feminine business archetypes, then please reach out to me, because this has been foundational for me in building my business that is not an imitation business model. But here, I'm going to tell you a story. So it was 2 years ago that I had the inspiration to create an online group program about feminine archetypes, about exploring different faces of the goddess and the archetypes. And I'd been studying this for years. I'd been living this. I knew that it was going to be awesome. And I did well for a few months, where I was just in my creative process. I was dreaming, I was writing ideas down. I was letting it percolate, letting it grow. But then as I got to the point where I was ready to start, designing images to promote it, or like looking at Google Images to promote it, well, what do you think I found? because I was looking on Google Images, I started discovering all these other women in the world that were doing very similar work to me and had been doing that work in online for years. And some of them, as I discovered, very successfully so. And as I was getting ready to launch Goddess Dream School for the first time, there was 3 other coaches, 3 other women, leaders that were literally launching their fall program at the same time. And they were a couple weeks ahead of me because they were, at that time I thought, oh, of course they are, because they're more on the ball than me. And at that moment I had a choice to shrink and give up and say, oh, there's no space for me. There's no room for me. Look at them. They're already doing it. They're so successful. They're awesome. I should probably just join one of their programs. Who do I think I am to lead my own goddess archetype program, right? Shrink. Or my other choice was to forge ahead, to continue to follow my dream and to follow my inspiration that I had. And you obviously know which choice I took, because last week my Creatrix Conversations episode was 5 lessons I learned from my first 5-figure launch, which was for Goddess Dream School. Now I've been running it for 2 years. So here's the thing, one of the ways that we can reduce the stimulus and prevent this imitation business model is being very, very careful about the content that we consume and who we pay attention to. Hello, Rolly, good morning. I even say to my clients, there may come a time where you want to unsubscribe from my email list, which is, it's okay. It's like too bad, but I understand, because we get to a point, especially, we need to be creating from our own source of inspiration, not consuming other people's content all the time. So just be very careful about who you're tuning into, so that you don't fall prey to this imitation business model. And like I said, being very aware of what makes you unique and what you are offering, and not trying to copy someone else's version of success or how they're running their business. That is so key, because especially in the online space, it's being unique and being authentic, and people can feel it in your energy, in your written posts, in your Instagram feed, in every selfie that you take, whether you're being true to you. And that authenticity has a potency that can be felt. And that it truly is such an important thing. So I hope that you got some tidbits today and are inspired to just go out there and be your unique self. If you are inspired, please hit share and share this with your friends. And really, I encourage you to just be very careful with everything that you're creating. Just always checking in. Is this feel like I'm copying somebody or something, or does this feel really good? Now, of course, there's going to be certain ways of doing things that are, they're similar. Like I run a free 5-day challenge type thing a couple times a year. There's a certain model of doing that, or when you host a webinar type event, you can have it. There's certain things and there's certain tools or systems that we use that are the same, but make sure that you're always infusing your unique energy and your potency of your medicine and message for the world, because that's what's going to make you stand out. You are not an imitation of anyone else. You are 1 in 7 billion, which makes you a very unique and rare commodity indeed. There's only one you. All right, thank you so much for tuning into Creatrix Conversations today. I'm here every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific, and have a wonderful and unique day. Thanks, bye-bye.